Megastructures are like the few that were made, that were designed, never built. Most of them, of course, some of them were built. Now they're happening, and now no one wants to play the game.
I think they need to be conceived as infrastructure, so they have that flexibility that they can develop in many different ways, and you are not no single person, individual. It's in control of the whole thing.
But that's when spaces that generally people would appreciate gets created, is when there's sub-districts of power that interact, like in Hong Kong, for instance, where you have many super boring malls that all interlock with each other in a three-dimensional way, and together they create something truly amazing, because there is no single author. There's like a series of highly bureaucratic processes, and then all of those rules, just without anyone thinking about it or planning for it, created the first truly three-dimensional city that I think people massively enjoy. Then the isolated units are hyper boring.
In a way, as an architect or as a designer, if you want to do something at that scale, then you have to give up so much, or you have to hide, let's say. So, like, no one would be able to see what you're done physically, but everyone would be able to feel and to experience that atmosphere. But no one would see your whatever physical spaces. I guess that's the problem with seeing it as infrastructure, means that you have to really step back. I've done 3 studios that have been really rewarding, very nice to do, that were called active fields, in which I was trying to explore with students this issue of what I would tell them is your construction material, it's people. So you are building with human interaction. So they started with just by doing drawings in which you would see how, you will draw the ways in which people interact, and then, what do you have to build for that to happen? And they ended up finding out that most of the times all you have to do was to put a Wi-Fi router, or to put a plug for electricity, or to put a little table. It was so minimal that we killed design.
Well, one interesting, maybe not super direct reference, but towards this fear of losing the object, or even in the absurdity of Macau, there was a huge casino resort that got scrapped, that was proposed by Architectonica, that was supposed to be completely virtual, they described it, but only all the semiotics, all the experiential, everything that you would focus your eyes on would be either a screen, a hologram, or a projection on water, or on smoke, or on, which means that it could update itself forever. And it just had a water shell that would keep. They went quite far, but no, people backed out because it was inconceivable. Yeah. But then that means so if we don't keep creating it all the time, and then even that just sounds so amazing, you need to create the semiotic interior constantly.
There is still no one offers that service of if you make an architecture, in this case, for example, because before we were talking about infrastructure that then gets populated by small designs, right? Yes. In this case, if it's all screens, there is yet not the service or the profession to provide the material to display on the screens, right? Content, who makes that content?
I think also the argument with Architectonica's casino was that wouldn't it be very soon that you only need to design very, very small thing that everyone carries around, and then the building itself is simply keeping out the rain or controlling the acoustics, or that's all it does. And then you carry the semiotic experience, or any environmental experience, you carry it with you personally.
And that's what's slowing it down, feels like, when it comes to creating digitally virtual spaces. Then everyone wants to reduce it as much as possible. I mean, no screens are being used now as when they invent perspective, then they go crazy and everyone starts doing perspectives all over all the spaces to create spaces. And now we invent LED screens that can just come in a roll, and you can put them and cover whatever surface you want, and we only do advertisement.